Hello everybody, I am Fuzzyface and welcome back to another edition of this McLaren career on Motorsport Manager. Today we have got the Singapore Grand Prix coming up. Look like it's going to be dry for the whole weekend. Hopefully we can replicate what we did last time out in Italy at the Monza Grand Prix, where we finished first and second with Max Verstappen. Mick having a really outstanding race, showing that he can keep pace with Max Verstappen, managing to hold him off for the entire race. Finished up just under 2 seconds difference between our two cars. Lewis Hamilton got on the podium in third place. Obviously, our result was helped by Sebastian Vettel crashing out early on. I think he crashed on the second lap. So hopefully, we're going to be able to replicate something close to this in Singapore. We do have a couple of new parts to get into the car. I think it's just one rear wing. No, it's actually two rear wings, because this one wasn't ready for the Italian Grand Prix. It is now ready. This is going to go into Mick's car, and then this one is going to go into Max's car. So we've got a couple of improvements going around. We're currently building a new engine once again. Hopefully we can get the legendary part in this one. The last two times we've attempted this with the random legendary part going into the car, it has added the one for reliability. There is one sat there that gives a plus 90 boost. That is what we're hoping for. We're hoping to get that beast of an engine. Hopefully it doesn't put the reliability legendary part in there again. But anyway, still struggling for sponsors in slot 1. Only one offer. We're going to accept it. Adidas willing to pay 1 million up front. The race bonus is neither here or there for us at the moment. We are currently making tons of money, just under £3 million at the moment. I think the brakes R&D facility has just been built. Yes, it has. So we've got level 1 of that. We're still waiting on a couple of other parts. Obviously, we're not going to get the benefit of this because we are just trying to leave McLaren in as strong a position for next season as we can, because we're moving on after this season. We have won the championship, or just about. We haven't quite mathematically won it yet. There are still 5 races to go, so there is 215 points still on offer if you finish first and second in every race. That would need Ferrari to finish first and second in all 5 races that are left, and us to finish outside the points for that to realistically happen. So if we finish anywhere higher than 7th or above with one driver today, we will be winning the championship today. So cause for celebration in today's episode. So hopefully we can get a good result here at Singapore to celebrate our title win, because we will be doing it today with 4 races to go. Suzuka, the American Grand Prix, Austin, it's just called Speedway here, and then we've got Brazil, and then we finish off with the return of Montreal. Montreal obviously didn't happen last season. Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, it wasn't on the calendar last season after getting voted off in the first season. But anyway, we're going to jump straight into the race today. We've made the adjustments to the car that we wanted to do. Rexona, we're going to go for Rexona. Hopefully we can get first in quali and in the race, get that nice 4.2. It should be somewhere about there. Obviously this doesn't take into account any sponsorship, any race bonus for Max Verstappen here. I think we pay him about £100,000 each for coming first in quali and 100,000 in the race. But anyway, we've got the parts in the car, both drivers happy, so we'll skip through practice and qualifying. We'll run those off camera as usual, and we'll come back when it's time to get into the race. So here we go with the grid for the Singapore Grand Prix. Max Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel on the first row of the grid. Vettel not that far behind. The fact that Vettel is a 5-star rated driver is making up for the fact that we have by far the much more superior machinery at the moment. But Sebastian Vettel, being a 5-star driver, is getting him somewhere near Verstappen. Mick Schumacher in third place, a pretty decent lap, but a long way behind Max Verstappen. What I failed to mention before this race is Mick Schumacher does have a new boost now, which is a racer. He's got the racer stat on, which gives him a +2 to pretty much every stat in the game during the race. So he's going to be picking up his performance during the race. He should be up to a 4.5-star driver, or just over. He's currently rated 4, but during the race he gets a +2 to every stat. So that, I think that's going to make up for what he usually lacks in smoothness. So I think going into the race he's going to be able to get the same sort of tyre wear out of the tyres as Max Verstappen can do. Obviously he's used a little bit more in qualifying, but during the race he should be able to get about the same length of tyre wear out of each set of tyres, which should be good for him going forward. Obviously we're not going to be able to get to use that going forward as we're leaving McLaren at the end of this season. But anyway, Antonio Giovinazzi takes 4th place, Kimi Räikkönen 5th in the Mercedes, his teammate just behind him in 6th, Nico Hülkenberg. In 7th, Lewis Hamilton in the Red Bull, and his teammate joins him on the 4th row of the grid, Stoffel van Dorn. The 5th row of the grid, all Williams. Again, it's going 2 by 2 pretty much, apart from the first 2 rows of the grid, isn't it? Daniel Ricciardo in the Williams, followed by Lance Stroll in the Williams, and then the 2 Force Indias side by side, 11th to 12th, Sergio Perez and Esteban Ocon. And then the 2 by 2 broken by Valtteri Bottas in the Sauber, Carlos Sainz in the Renault, 13th and 14th respectively. And then back to the 2 by 2. The Toro Rossos of Gasly and Kvyat are 15th and 16th. Then the Sauber of Nasr 17th, Palmer 18th in the Renault, Ferrucci in the Haas 19th. And the other Haas of Marcus Ericsson all the way in 20th place. Haas looking like they're going to be dropping to GP2 after this season. So hopefully we're going to get a decent start. Mick Schumacher won the last race because he had an absolutely blinding start. Hopefully Max gets away a little bit better. Yes, he does. It's Mick who has a little bit of the worst start. This time Giovinazzi managing to get past him. Max Verstappen though flying away here. This is 23 laps. It's going to be pretty hard to do it as we usually do on the super softs. I've actually used an extra super soft set in qualifying because I don't think we can actually do it. We can get about 4 out of this to 11. Get us to 20. What we're going to have to do is use 2 sets of the soft tyres. We do have the soft tyre boost here instead of the super soft boost. We might even have to use a pair of mediums at some point, and just to check, yep, now Mick can get the same tyre wear out of a tyre as Max Verstappen, which is pretty good for him, pretty good going, but he's going to have to run the same strategy as well. 2 sets of soft and 1 set of super soft. We need to get to about lap 4 in this race, or lap 5, before we can make that first pit stop, so we're going to have to look after these tyres a little bit. We've actually got some rain coming late on, so we're not going to be able to do that, so we might have to plan for a 3 stop here. I don't think we're going to be able to get to lap 16 unless we really hold off on these tyres. And if we just try and hold off, we're going to have to try go long enough, and then we can just 2 stop and get in for the pair of intermediates late on into the race. If we can just take it that far, if we can go to a medium tyre maybe. So it means just sort of sitting back for the moment and letting the other cars around us do their thing, because I don't think the AI is going to be spotting that, because we can only see that far because we have a level 3 forecasting centre. But as it is, we're just going to have to look after these tyres, even if it does mean running them con, because we just want to get as far as we can on this set of tyres. And then hopefully we can get to about that point. To get to about lap 16 or 17, we do need to go this length of fuel to about lap 6. We've got Pierre Gasly crashed at yellow flag, no safety car. The Toro Rosso of Pierre Gasly out on the 3rd lap. He possibly was on the 2nd lap at the time. Max Verstappen though still lapping pretty quick. We're still about a second quicker is Sebastian Vettel, but he's pushing a little bit more than us. He's using his fuel up at the moment. He's going to be coming into the pits a little bit quicker than we are, whereas we're just going to stay out as long as we can. As long as we can is what we need to do. We've got some battery to use up with Max. We've got some battery to use up with Mick Schumacher as well. He's got a gap to Nico Hülkenberg in the Mercedes. He's just sort of sitting back. We're not really challenging. We're just sort of running our thing. We're not worried about making any overtakes here. We might even have to go back up here. We want to just try and go as far as we can here. We want to try and get another lap out of these tyres after this, especially with Mick. I don't think Max needs to hold on as much as Mick is, but we've already had one of the Ferraris come into the pits, have we? Yeah, Giovinazzi's already made his pit stop. Raikkonen's made his pit stop. So from here we can go. Yes, we're going another lap, aren't we? So one more lap here. Sebastian Vettel looks like he'll be diving into the pits this time. Vettel comes in. I don't think the AI is going to be able to get to about lap 16, which is when the rain is due to start. So we're going to set our pit stops up this time, so we can go 10 laps. It has actually increased as the estimation for the tyres. Will that get us to about 10 laps remaining? It's a little bit too... not quite there yet, are we? 17 laps after this. We just need to go as long as we can. But we can only put 10 laps of fuel in the car. So should we go a medium and be able to push a medium tyre? Yeah, just to make sure we can get that far. So we're going to go for the medium tyre. We're going to do the same with... he can still only go one under that. He's a little bit worse off than that, but putting 10 laps of fuel in as well, because we can't really push any fuel after that. We just sort of have to sit back and run everything on medium, whereas Schumacher's under pressure from Giovinazzi, who's come into the pits and done his pit stop. As I said, we just try to stay out. We're just going to try beat them later on in the race. It doesn't matter if we give up these positions now. And should we try attack on these tyres? I know they're running down, but this extra lap just might save us at the end of the race, this extra lap that we've been able to go. At which point we can come out pushing the next set of tyres. So is Max going to get out of the pits here? On time he does. Gets out into second. It's a pretty short pit lane here. That's why the other cars were a little bit closer than usual. A lot of fuel going into Schumacher's car. He gets back out into 10th place. We'll use his boost to try getting past the Force India of Esteban Ocon. Should be a little bit quicker now than the other cars, but we just need to sort of hold on to this fuel. Can we make it? If we run low at some point, we should be able to make this tank of fuel go 11 laps. So maybe we don't want to be pushing these tyres too much at the moment. Because, yeah, we should be able to make up these positions at the end of the race. Verstappen has given up first place to Vettel. But we're just sort of playing the long game here. We just sort of want to see whether we can get that far into the race that we don't have to. That we can get onto the intermediates, whereas the AI might even try risking going long and not coming for the intermediate. So we're just playing a really long game here. We're just sitting back, just making this strategy work. These tyres getting a little bit too heated at the moment. We might as well use some battery up as well, and then harvest a little bit later on. Got a few cars diving into the pits. Schumacher's getting pretty close to the Renault of Carlos Sainz, who is yet to pit yet. Maybe use some boost to try and get past him, otherwise I'll possibly be holding us up. There we go. So we're currently behind the Red Bulls with Schumacher, the 2 Mercedes, 1 Ferrari. Hopefully it's going to work out for him a little bit later on in the race. Verstappen sets the quickest second sector here. His tyre is a little bit better off. Vettel came in for the soft tyre, so he's going to possibly have to do 3 stops because he's getting nowhere near the time that the rain comes. Maybe he's already seen that. Maybe we can try and cool these tyres down. Don't think we can do. Can we? Let's try and cool them down a little bit. I'm going to backup mode a little. Yeah, let's try and cool them and then we can go for another push. We can cool them and then push again. We don't seem to be losing too much time, although the boost from Sebastian Vettel uses his boost. We'll try to use that to keep up. See what we're lapping at the moment. Schumacher's doing a 122 to a 126. I don't know what's Giovinazzi doing. He's coming actually for his second set of tyres, so we know Giovinazzi has to come into the pits again if he wants to do it. He's not even going to be able to do it from there. Yeah, he's coming really early. He would have to pit anyway. So the Ferrari's running a three-stop strategy here. Obviously no. So we're going to go back to... We're lapping at 121. We're going a little bit too slow here. We might as well push these tyres, haven't we? Might as well push them. So can we just hold on to Vettel here? Vettel pushing his tyres again. We're going to push once we get to the point where we need to come into the pits. That's when we're going to start pushing the tyres a lot more. Hopefully that makes us up a little bit of distance. 11 laps remaining at the moment. 5, just under 5. So we're sort of holding on. We might be able to go another 5 laps here. So we're definitely going to get to the point of rain. I don't think Vettel can get that far because he's running out of fuel. So Vettel's possibly going to be pitting around now for another set of soft tyres. Obviously he is going to be at a push, so that might work out for him. But then he does have to pit for intermediates at some point towards the end of the race. Schumacher, meanwhile, will use his boost, try and get him a little bit closer to the Ferrari in front of him of Giovinazzi. Because we know Giovinazzi has done 2 pit stops already, as has Raikkonen. It's not quite working out for Giovinazzi. It might not work out for Verstappen this either. Just try to go as long as we can. 3 laps, just under at the moment. So if we can go 2 laps to go, no, we should be able to do it. Yeah, we can do another 3 laps here. Because we're going to be recovering just about enough for that. So hopefully we can go just to when the rain starts. Vettel has been into the pits for his pair of soft tyres. Don't think he's going to catch us, so it's going to work out for Verstappen here. Just how well is this strategy going to work out for Mick Schumacher? That is the question. We might as well just start harvesting from here. We'll save all the battery power that we've got for Verstappen until we know we're having to come in the pits. 1 more lap till the rain. It's going to take about half a lap further, yeah, so it's just worked out brilliantly for both our cars here. I don't know if we're going to be able to catch the other cars. Giovinazzi has actually dropped down now. We've actually got in front of Giovinazzi as we're running a lot less fuel than him, so we should be able to pull away at the moment. We should be a lot quicker than the Ferraris because they should be carrying a lot of fuel at the moment. So we should actually be lapping quicker. Verstappen does a 120.2. Vettel don't know. Vettel's actually really pushing his tyre at the moment. So we've got the rain coming now. We've got to pit this lap. We're just about going to get there. And it's on to the inters and just enough to get to the end of the race. The same for Mick, onto the inters. Just enough to get to the end of the race. So we just about got there. Mick's running in third at the moment. Max is... The medium tyres can get down to 10%, so they are pretty warm, but we might as well push them into the pits. So Max, where are we going to be able to get him back out? He's going to be coming out behind Vettel. Obviously, we're going to be on the right set of tyres. For the weather, Vettel might be trying to stay out here. And Vettel does stay out. Vettel is staying out. So a decent pit stop needed. Schumacher, Verstappen gets out, back into second place. Schumacher, third place. Followed into the pits by Giovinazzi. Giovinazzi's coming in for a pair of intermediate tyres as well. We use the boost on Verstappen, so a decent pit stop needed for Schumacher. No mistake. Giovinazzi's getting out in front of him. No. Just what we didn't want there. We use the boost. Just what we didn't want. But Verstappen now clearly lapping a lot quicker than Sebastian Vettel. Vettel staying out on the course. So we're going to be able to make this pass pretty easily, pretty soon. Spray kicking up. 15th place. Who's that? Kimi Räikkönen lapping really quick in the Mercedes from the back. Schumacher currently 5th. Giovinazzi in front. Giovinazzi's quite a bit further down the field. So it would have worked out for him if we didn't have the bad pit stop. We should be able to catch up to Nico Hülkenberg though pretty easily. So we're a long way behind Sebastian Vettel though. That is a little bit too much to sort of make up. We might as well use as much boost as we can. There goes Nico Hülkenberg. Can we catch Sebastian Vettel with Mick Schumacher is the question. So what have we got left here? I know the tyre temps are really high, but we might as well just push them all out here. Right, so coming across the line, we're a little bit low on fuel, so we might have to go medium mode for a lap. Or medium till the end of the race now. We can't really sustain that level of fuel usage. So a 123 to the 136. So what is Schumacher doing at the moment? I think it's going to be enough to just catch. Vettel actually comes into the pits for his intermediate tyres. And he's out in front as well. He's out in front. He might, because of the short pit lane in Singapore. Both Ferraris managed to get out in front of Schumacher. Let's use a boost here. I don't think we're going to be able to catch Sebastian Vettel. He's got a fresh pair of intermediate tyres on his car. He's going to be able to take back Giovinazzi. But look at that. Verstappen's got a massive lead. Just that bad pit stop from Schumacher. Otherwise, he would have been out in front at this point in the race. Just that bad pit stop just didn't work out for him. That mistake on the second pit stop cost him his position. Although Giovinazzi's falling off here. What's he doing? He's got it in low mode in his tyres. Don't have any boost to use, but can we get Mick onto the podium here? And he does. He gets past Giovinazzi beautifully there. Beautifully done. Giovinazzi cooling these tyres down for some reason. He's obviously going to push back on the last lap. But if we can get far enough ahead, we're going to be able to just harvest this boost. The battery power, the ARS that we've got. Just hang on to that. We're pulling away from Giovinazzi as well, though. So I doubt he's going to be able to make that up on the last lap. Is he going to come back with his tyres? No. He's still in backup mode on them. For some reason. Use the battery. Might as well use it and finish off this race for Schumacher. Don't think Giovinazzi's going to be able to come back from this. Is he 3.4? 3.4. It's dropping slowly, but not enough. Verstappen has won the race. Vettel's going to finish second. Schumacher, meanwhile, is going to get third place. He's going to manage to get onto the podium here, which seemed unlikely after that mistake in the pits. Here he comes. Vettel goes across the line in second. Schumacher finishes third. Giovinazzi gets fourth. Van Dorn gets fifth. Perez will be coming across the line in sixth place. Hamilton will follow him. Will he? No, he's overtaken by Lance Stroll. Just before the last corner, Lance Stroll managed to get past him. So Stroll gets 7th, Hamilton gets 8th, his intermediate tyres have gone. Ocon gets 9th, Ricciardo 10th. Carlos Sainz in the Renault comes across in 11th. And then we've got Bottas in the Sauber, Raikkonen in a Mercedes. And the Mercedes of Hulkenberg 14th as well. Mercedes really struggling once again. Ericsson 15th in the Sauber. Palmer of Renault. And then I think that was the Haas of Ferrucci in 16th. But a decent race there. It just didn't work out because of that one bad pit stop. Otherwise we would have had Schumacher in front of Vettel. And would have possibly been able to just about hold him off. But can't be helped. You can't help these mistakes. First and third. 40 points for us is enough for us to be confirmed champions. At least we had one car winning the race. A 2-stop certainly worked out for Max Verstappen. Vettel was really quick in this race. Schumacher not too bad himself. 5 seconds. He lost about 10 seconds in the pits. So he would have been 5 seconds in front of Vettel. Such a shame that we didn't get the 1-2 on the championship winning race. But anyway, it can't be helped. 76 points ahead. Verstappen cannot be quite mathematically confirmed Drivers' Championship at the moment. There's 4 races to go. He's got 76 points in front. If Schumacher won all 4 of the last races and Verstappen finished outside the points, then that will be his. Or if Schumacher finished second in all 4 of the last races and Verstappen finished outside the points. But the next race won't possibly see Verstappen crowned champion as well. But 446 points, absolutely brilliant. 220 points ahead of Ferrari. There's only, what is there now, 172 points left on offer. Yep, I think that's right, yeah. 172 points left on offer. 220 points is the gap, so we have won the title pretty comfortably, so everyone's really happy. Matsushita not happy though at the moment. And Mick Schumacher still improving at a rapid rate. And a morale boost for finishing on the podium, so we'll see what money we get in. £4.3 million into the bank. Tons of money once again. Skip ahead. GP3, John-Eric Verne winning in the Virgin Racing car, which is a Formula E car, which is mixed in with a few of these, like Jaguar is a Formula E car and so on and so forth. Sergio Camara actually won the race, so who's actually winning here? Trident Racing look like they could be coming up along with Virgin, so we could be seeing one of those in with us next season in GP2, as we're going to be joining Haas, who do look like they are going down. I don't think they're going to be able to get above Toro Rosso, so we are going to be spending a year in the wilderness in GP2 with Haas. Hopefully we can hang on to the drivers at least, maybe, because they do have Marcus Ericsson just under 4 stars. He's contracted through to 2020. Where is where's Ferrucci? 3 stars. He's contracted through to 2020 as well. So it looks like we're going to be keeping the same drivers next season. What's he done in GP2? He was a reserve driver, wasn't he? And I don't think Ericsson's been in GP2 because he was with Sauber whilst Haas were in GP2 last time. Yep. Anyway, we'll just finish with the interview as normal. Yochema was reported to court telling some reporters that he's tired of Mick Schumacher's... He keeps saying this. I don't get why he's thinking Mick Schumacher's performing awful. According to him, he should be finishing 6th with the with what he set as a target. So, no, we'll do that one. Yeah. So anyway, everything looking good. We've only got 4 more races to go. Maybe we'll switch some stuff up. Maybe because we've won the title. Or maybe just do Suzuka as normal until Verstappen wins the title, and then maybe give Schumacher the better car for one of these races. See what he can do in the best car. Maybe we'll do that. But anyway, that is it for this episode. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment. All the usual razzmatazz. But until next time, I'll see you down the road in Suzuka for the Japanese Grand Prix. And goodbye.